welcome back to Live 3 Dream. I'm Trace, your host. Thanks for joining me on this journey as we're trying to live the dream here in the Watch Fam. Got some exciting news. I have an unboxing video for you today. When I got into this, this whole watch scene and started following these great companies online, whether it be the giant watch houses like Seiko and Tudor and Rolex and all those guys, or these micro brands that are coming onto the scene in the last 10 years or so and just totally making a splash. They've created a whole other genre for us watch lovers to take in and appreciate. And I think some of the quality coming out of these micro brands might eventually rival some of the big houses that are, kind of mainstay living room names in the watch world. So today, I'm really excited to bring to you an unboxing video. The good folks at Dificiano Watches, they're a Chinese company that's doing a Kickstarter campaign right now, trying to get their watches out into the world. I believe they've got 14 days now or so left on that campaign. They need your help in the watch fam to be able to look at their stuff, evaluate these new dive watches, and see what you think. Today, I'll be unboxing the Marlin. And again, I appreciate the reviewers that make note. This watch was sent to me. I will not be keeping this watch though. So this is not one of my watches that I'll continue wearing after these reviews. I'm gonna send this watch on back to the company so they can get it to another reviewer, probably somebody with a lot more followers than me, to be able to see what they think. And so my hope is that, just like all these videos, you can take an honest look at what I have to say and what we have to see from the close-ups and the macro shots and formulate your own opinions. I'll tell you right now, off the bat, this watch was awesome for me. It's called the Marlin. It's a black face dial with some red accent color. You'll see that when we flip the camera. Love the watch so far. I've had it for a few days now and I've really enjoyed it. My watch check today on wrist is my 62 Moss Sharky from Heimdallr, another company that I really appreciate, smaller watch house that's doing some cool things over there. We'll have the full review on this guy soon. You've seen the unboxing video already. So please, if you haven't already, hit subscribe, join the family, follow us on Instagram at Live3Dreamco. At Live3Dreamco is that name. And again, I hope you're having a great day. If you're not already in the watch fam, I hope you're living the dream. Thanks. Help them. So quick wrist check today. I have on my custom Seiko SKX from Mad Mod World with the military-inspired dial. Got the watch steward strap on there, and just love what both these guys do. Both these people are doing awesome things in the watch world, in the watch fam. But with no further ado, it came in really quickly all the way from China. Appreciate them getting it to us quickly so that we could see it today. So I've already ripped over the FedEx packaging, and here is the box. Again, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, pronouncing that right. Dificiano is the company. Pretty cool branding here and a sticker enclosure on their box. But let's get in here and see what's going on. All right. So we have this outer cardboard box here. Looks like it's pretty well bubble wrapped. Make sure it's safe. Getting across. Very grateful for them trusting me with their product. Again, just so, for the sake of disclosure, I got this for free, but I'll be sending it back. So this is not a watch that, that I'm going to be able to keep. I'm going to send it back, so hopefully they can send it to another reviewer so that they can, same thing, keep the good publicity going and keep the momentum alive. So this is a quote-unquote prototype of the watch. I think it's pretty close to a production final version because I think they're in those final phases. But again, just want to let you know that, full disclosure, that's where we're at. So, just initial feel right now is it feels very substantial, y'all. I mean, this feels like a really substantial watch. It's got a good heft to it. Just as I'm getting it out of the packaging, I can tell already that it's got this really cool, bracelet on it. And we'll get to the review. So there it is in the plastic wrapping. I am sure that, once they get to the actual Kickstarter funded phase and get to the final phases of packaging, that it'll come in some different packaging than this. Again, this is just the folks at Dificiano sending it to me for review. And so we'll get it out of this and we'll get going. Just off the top, from when I first saw these watches on my Instagram feed, it kind of came up in a search of dive watches. What I noticed about them that was different, was just they did a lot of things differently with their loom, with their chapter rings. You can look on the site. They've got some really cool loomed chapter rings that I think is unique. I don't think a ton of people are doing that right now. And if they are, I think they're in much higher, level watches as far as price point. And for me, again, as a dad with a family, price point is, one of my biggest motivating factors. So it looks like the one they sent me was the black dial with the red details, and y'all, it is really sharp. I mean, this thing is nice looking. Again, a very significant weighted piece. I'll try to do a weight on that as I get the full review here posted shortly. If you're looking at just some quick specs, it's got the Seiko NH35 inside. I like that movement, and I have several dive watches that have that. Really appreciate that movement. It's going to be a 40 millimeter case body, and I think it's 41.5 all the way included with the crown and bezel included. You got the unidirectional bezel. Wow, really good action on that. Let's see if it's got any back play. Lines up perfect. That's a huge detail, and no back play at all. Really sharp. Again, something that I would expect to see on a much more expensive dive watch. Case back, really cool. It is the Marlin, so it's got a really neat laser engraved Marlin on the back, and that is a really cool case back. Got some details, got their logo. It has the denotation of the sapphire crystal glass on the back of the case. It's got a 300-meter water resistance, and then you get the stainless steel stamping on there as well, as long as their badge logo. Really cool clasp there. Really nice, substantial clasp here. Wow, did not expect that. That's really nice. A couple micro adjustments there on the clasp. Really nice action. Really firm there. I love the beaded mesh bracelet. Again, it's a very brushed middle insert with those little beads or kind of sharp mesh, almost trying, I think, to get to that diver bracelet. Some cool details here, on the attaching, part to the actual case. Really nice. I mean, just everything, quality. Again, this is kind of my price point as far as divers go, and I feel like if I paid what they're asking on Kickstarter, I believe it's like 252 American dollars, gets you one of these in their super early bird, and I would think that would be an absolute steal. Just with the heft of the watch, the dimensions, and just again some of those initial feels, I feel like you're definitely getting a good value here for that price point. I have some more expensive dive watches than this that don't really necessarily feel like this. You got the drilled lugs, I think a really cool detail, and something that people are paying more and more attention to. Oh wow, you have a signed crown here. Looks like it's going to be hard to see here on the camera, but it's their signed Marlin logo there, lasered on the crown. That's a really cool touch. But yeah, I mean, I just think this is a great piece. I really appreciate the black colorway. I'm more of a monochrome guy. They have a really cool silver face, and they have a really cool dark silver face in their release of this first initial Kickstarter run. I'm sure after a while they'll end up having more colors than that, but I feel like this is a very classy looking. This watch almost looks dressy to me, with the great stainless steel band and the black colorway. But obviously, it looks very rugged and it feels very rugged. Sapphire crystal. It looks like it's a flat sapphire crystal, not a lot of a dome to it. If it does have a dome, it's very slightly, and it's very fleshly, in there with the bezel insert and everything, so that all mates together well. Yeah. I will post a Lume shot of this one. Again, I'm a Lume fan. I'm a big fan of the Lume of watches. I think that's kind of what I love about dive watches, is they have this kind of cool, transformation at night, when they get that Lume action going. So I'll post one of these. Again, they're doing some really cool things with their chapter rings in the Kickstarter release with some Lume chapter rings. And that's something that, honestly, because I just don't see that a lot with their watches, is something that I feel like will draw me to this brand as a Kickstarter supporter, just because of that alone, just the uniqueness there. But y'all, just the substantialness of the watch and the quality I'm seeing that they've achieved here is really high. I'm going to drop off this SKX and slide this on. Again, this band has not been fitted to my wrist. I literally just got it out of the packaging. But you can kind of get a feel of what that's going to look like on wrist. Really sharp watch. Doesn't stand out against the wrist too much. again, that weightedness of the band and just the substantial, weight of the watch itself is really nice feeling, very quality. Again, guys, I feel like this is a value that's punching way above its price point. That's kind of one of my goals here at Live 3 Dream, is just to be able to find these gems like this that maybe you don't see on your everyday Instagram feed or necessarily know about so much, but that do need the respect of the industry right now. And so I hope that these guys' Kickstarter campaign is fully funded. I hope that we can help them spread the word. And even if you just pass along this review or these posts, I think it'll go a long way into helping these good folks try to get their brand launched. I think the more brands like this that come out, the more these micro brands that rise to the top, I think it's going to push the rest of the industry. Some of the bigger brands are going to have to figure out, what to do to coexist. And obviously these smaller brands, they're already doing that. They're bringing a lot of high-end things to the table. You got the Seiko NH35 sapphire glass. You have a great unidirectional bezel that's just awesome action. You have a signed crown. You have a signed case back. You've got 300 meters of water resistance. You have some great lume, great color combinations, what I would call above average bracelet. It feels very comfortable on the wrist. I hate to be like this, but I have a hairier wrist and I'm not getting any grabbing or anything like that. So, definitely well made in that end. And I just feel like it's something that, would add to your collection. You're not going to go to Starbucks and check the guy's wrist next to you and he's going to have one of these on. And I feel like more and more in the watch world, that's becoming something that people appreciate, is not necessarily wearing the exact same watch that you can get at your local mall or jewelry store and things like that. So, to the good folks at Dificiano, thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to take a look at this watch. I will spend some days with it, and I will get a much more thorough review on the books with you guys. We're waiting on a couple more reviews. I got my Heimdallr Sharky 62 Moss that I've absolutely adored and have been wearing that. Hard to get that thing off my wrist right now. But again, another micro brand, Dificiano, just absolutely killing it here with their Marlin release. Go check them out on Kickstarter. They have a Kickstarter campaign going. I'll put links in the story notes down below in the comments so that you can look at that. But please leave me some comments. What do you think? What are your questions? I will try to answer them with my review video, and I will do my absolute best to interact with you guys down there in the comments to make sure that your questions are answered. I think this campaign is a $25,000 campaign. They're over halfway there and half the days left. So I feel like they're right on pace, but obviously y'all, if we could support them and push them over the mark, I think it's something that this company would greatly appreciate. And y'all, I feel like this is the first in the long line of some other good ones. My hope is just like Baltic and what are some other great divers right now that are out there in the micro brand world? Baltic, obviously, Seiko being one of the giants. I think so many of these brands are getting inspiration from there, but I just feel like those brands like Baltic are absolutely killing it. If you haven't checked out Baltic yet, I think they're in a category like this, where they're making a dive inspired watch. We all recognize, we see it right off and we get that that's a Baltic watch. But just like Dificiano here, there's something different about it. And when you see these lume chapter rings, when you see the color combinations, the sun ray dials and the colors that are vibrant enough to be cool, but they are muted enough to be everyday wear and everyday accessible, I think they're in that sphere right now with the good folks over at Baltic who are doing unreal things. But again, the Baltic watches sell out, right away. Laurier, they're another diver micro brand that's killing it right now in their own way. But again, those watches sell out within hours of being re-released. And so I'm hoping that this Dificiano company will come alongside them. Obviously, being a manufacturer in China, they have access to so many of these great parts and pieces and movements and things like that to source them at great prices. And again, I feel like that's part of their mission, is to get us a great watch at a great price point. So cheers to Dificiano for being willing to enter this space and take a risk to launch on Kickstarter. Hopefully we can get them funded fully and we can get some more looks at this. I'll be back really soon with a full review of this, guys, so that we can do them justice and thank them for trusting us with their review. And like I said, man, if you haven't Googled them, if you haven't been on their Instagram page, you need to get there. High quality stuff, a really cool, brand that I think we need to know a little bit more about. And so if you have any questions whatsoever, please let me know and I'll get back to you as soon as possible, whether it be through YouTube, through Instagram, or even through email if you need that. We'll get your questions answered, so hopefully you can support this great company. Thanks to Dificiano for trusting us over here at Live 3 Dream. And if you're not already today, man, I hope you're living the dream. Look at your watch. You don't have a lot of time left in the day to make sure you're doing it. So keep living the dream. Thanks for your support. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so and leave us a comment below for support. Thanks.